So, to continue, trauma and what it means to be human. Pluto and Aquarius. Transition from Pluto and Capricorn, the previous sign. Trauma, social structures. This is our transition. And this is happening simultaneous, I got to zoom it out a little bit, to the precession of the equinoxes, which is 2,000 years, really. Moving from Pisces to Aquarius. So we have one dial going this way, Capricorn to Aquarius, and another dial going this way, Pisces to Aquarius, because the precession of equinoxes moves in a reverse motion to the natural flow. That movement of the ages is from a sort of a spiritual, it's the age of Christ into the age of the human being. It's bringing the divine light or divine energy down into the human being and the recognition of the divine spark in the individual. This is a paradigm which is occurring as it must, right, as we stand on the sort of edge of calamity, literally, politically, as well as economically, as well as ecosystemically. A movement of the seeding and understanding of just what it means to be human and the profound nature of the energy which moves through us, which is the cosmic energy. Just got a notification for some reason. Which is the cosmic energy, which is our life force, which is something that is sacred and eternal and is us, right? That we are this sort of vessel or this nurturer of the cosmic force in a compounded, complex way. And Aquarius is science. It's the mad scientist, like Doc from Back to the Future, or Einstein. It's a great example. Kind of the Pisces Aquarius archetype. Einstein is right on that. That we are composed of a series of chemical reactions, a sophisticated molecular structure that has added molecules over millions of years of revolution, also Aquarius, and that the kind of hindbrain and the forebrain, the hindbrain is millions of years and the forebrain is 100,000, that we are this kind of glacial river of evolution physiologically that informs our entire experience, right? The translation of Philip Mainlander's philosophical works, heavily influenced by Schopenhauer and Kant, has just been published, and it was published with no coincidence, literally right on the cusp of this transition. What he discusses is that our entire experience is neurologically informed, right? The very synapses of our being, right, are taking in information through touch, taste, scent. And that's very informed by Kant in this philosophical revolution that occurred through the Enlightenment into the 1800s. This kind of revolution of consciousness that we are experiencing is very tied into understanding the technology that which we are neurologically, right, neuroscientifically, and how our neuropsychology processes information and informs our minds, what's going on, where we are, who we are, what we're touching, what we're doing, what we're seeing, what we're feeling, as well as how our misconceptions and delusions, right? This goes back to the astrological ages, the turning of Pisces into Aquarius, have brought us into a place of misunderstanding. That's Neptune, right? Neptune's going to be transitioning from the very end of Pisces into Aries, as well as the turning of the astrological ages backward. This is like a series of wheels and gears and concentric circles where there are many different motions occurring at once. It's a very complex mathematical situation, but it's also the perfect geometry of nature. If you see the way that Venus and the Earth move about the sun, it forms this perfect kind of Leela, or a flower, right? It's the planetary dance of the stars, right? The perfect geometry of time is that you can predict the future, that you know where each of these planets or planetary bodies is going to be, which is the night and the day, the moon and the sun and the earth, as well as eclipses, moon, sun, and earth, and where they are on a certain plane, right? What is eclipsing what? The alignment of the three planetary bodies, Earth, Moon, and Sun. This transition is an expansion of knowledge by way of science into the kind of underpinnings of what it is to be human, what we are living in, what the cosmic order is, what our inheritance is as a species and as an order of life, an understanding of what life is. It's a series of chemical reactions occurring within a molecular structure that is to increasing orders of magnitude complex, and a reorientation of our behavior in light of this information, which is very different. Percy Shelley, Pluto and Aquarius, a great figure who's representative of this phenomenon. The conventional belief is that Percy Shelley was an atheist. This is not true. He was a poet, and poets stand between let's say the astronomical order and the astrological order, which is to say between meaning and what is. And they're the arbiters of that. They are the interpreters of what is and what meaning is, right? We know that we stand here as something, we could just call it human beings, but to interpret what being human means is the task of poetry. To continue on that path, Percy Shelley, Pluto, and Aquarius railed against Christianity. Be Christian, be whatever religion you want to be, but he railed specifically against the idea of a malevolent Jehovah, right? This malevolent kind of Old Testament God. And what he really was working with was the current scientific understanding, which he was a framework which he was working in, like Kant and the other philosophers and thinkers of his time, within the current realm and bounds of the scientific understanding of the time, attempting to move into a synthesis of what it is to be human, the spiritual nature of humanity, entwined with rational objective knowledge. And Percy Shelley's quest culminated in a sort of pre-neuroscience quest for the creative imagination and the utilization of the complex mechanism of the brain. Doesn't get any more Aquarius than that, right? If you want to think about Aquarius as sort of the universal mind, and that universal mind is essentially mimicked down to the microcosmic, or the manifestation or representation of being, the human form with the most complex mechanism known to humanity that we can identify as the human brain, which occurs naturally. And we're still trying to understand that. We're still trying to mimic it with technology and the internet and artificial intelligence and so forth. But this is various degrees of complexity, right? And this is diversity. And this also has to do with Aquarius, which is neurological difference. Neuroscientifically, we are wired completely different. I mean, you could almost say that maybe genetically we are human beings in the most similar sense, but neuroscientifically our wiring, right, what composes the way that we receive and process information, concepts like neurodivergence, ADHD, autism, these are all becoming very prevalent because we're starting to understand as a species that neuroscientifically we couldn't be any more different. The way that we process information, and accordingly what ideas people attach themselves to, which effectively attempt to mimic or reproduce their essential internal reality. And as human beings, right, this is kind of like the seed of being, and the very different manifestations and aspects of that are the sort of blooming of the cosmic order from the first moment of the hydrogen molecule, which shifts and explodes, and then there's the Big Bang. We're still trying to understand these things about our origin, our cosmic origins, where we came from and where we're going. And this is a profound time of scientific revolution, innovation, and evolution of our understanding of what it is to be human, Pluto and Aquarius. And that will have to do a lot with trauma and understanding how our neuroscientifically, our neurological systems, as well as genetically, we have a sort of lineage and impact of trauma.